Hey, yo, man, what time is it?
You know what time it is, man.
2 a.m.?
Yeah, man.
Man, you know what?
What's that?
It's 8:46, bro.
Wow, that's deep.
Yeah, you know what time that is.
Yeah, man.
Nappy head,
Yo,
Funk Army.
what's up?
Stand up. Get it live, y'all.
Yo, Mo, drop that beat.
You know what we gotta do.
Yeah, man.
We bringing this funk just for you.
You know,
Repeat after me. Say, you don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best,
you don't.
just gotta outlast the rest.
No, you don't.
You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. You don't have to be the best, just gotta outlast the rest. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. I'ma say that again for you. United we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Here we go, y'all. Now let me tell you a little story about United We Stand. It says we're gonna funk across this funkless land. We gon' stand up and let our voices be heard. We ain't gonna let nobody stop us from spreading the spiritual word. The ruthless corporate greedy don't give a damn about the needy. We need everybody in the house to join us on this one, alright? Y'all say, united we stand, divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Are y'all out there? You feeling me? United we stand. Come on, y'all. Divided we fall. Should our backs ever be against the wall, we'll be together until the jam is done. Yeah. Check. 1, 2, 1, 2. United we stand. Divided we fall. With the poor people most of all, as they poison our mind with food control. Third eye is wise, sacrifice. Wake up and see what they doing to you and me. Keeping a separate product of Illuminati, like the jail cell did my boss John Gotti. Dirty politics and high-priced prostitution reside in all the important positions. Just look around at the injustice in the world. Some forced to live in a deplorable conditions. Watch what we do. This rap is coming up just for you. So sit back, relax, check out our phone calls. The nappy hip hop army always bumping in your drum. Tweet, the TikTok. The ruthless corporate greedies don't give a damn about the needies. A movement, genocide and homicide is happening all around the world. Promise me this, promise me that, when all the fat cats stabbing us in the back. Man, get off my back, bro. Killing me. Let me see you wave your hand. We all wanna take a stand. Rise up against the corporate man. Let me head all across this land. Oh yeah. Nothing but this new type funk 2022. Let me see you wave your hands. We all wanna take a stand. Rise up against the corporate man. Let me head all across this land. Come on, y'all.
What up? Funk from the front seat, 9 on the Grind TV. Thank you for tuning in. It's going to be a really great show today. You guys are amazing. We're here every Saturday, 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Today is a little special, a little melancholy, a little bittersweet, but we're going to get through it. And we won't go into details, but I'm going to be taking a little break for a while. I'll be running some choice reruns. So you guys, if you have any reruns that you want me to show, please, hit me up and let me know, and we'll put them in. But I got to take some time away. So I just wanted to get that out the way first and say I sincerely thank each and every person that has ever tuned into this show, that has ever watched it. Just give me 1 second. I got to get my light straight. Yeah, something. I don't want it to be too dark. So yeah, I appreciate each and every person, man, because you guys are amazing. We're trying to do something, and it's a little something. It's not much, but we try our best, and that's all we can do. Our producer, Mr. Mark Lee, is always down, and he's been with us from the first day. My guest today, Linda Scheider and George DeFalcovici, are regulars on the show, as well as a lot of other people are regulars. So we just try to have a platform. So some of us that can't get on the Ed Sullivan show, we can still do our thing. Today also I'm honoring. You can see it's a double honor because of number one. We're going to talk a little bit later about Mr. Sehe, number 24 kid, Willie Mays. Of course, one of the greatest black heroes, not just a baseball player, but a hero. And, he missed, a couple of years in the military, and we'll get into all of that about his stats. But he also did his last year with the Mets, and the New York Mets is my baseball team. So I'm repping them today. It's a double meaning because we're actually doing well. So I appreciate you guys popping in, man, and, having some fun with us. Today, we're going to talk about Juneteenth, and I want to give a shout out to anybody that's watching. Any comments, please keep them in the chat. Today, we're going to get into a little bit about Juneteenth, and we're going to, kind of wrap our arms around it and understand the importance of it, and try to, I guess, help other people of that are not of color understand the significance of it, as we do with the Holocaust, with our Jewish community and things like that, and things that we've honored, from our Asian community and the Vietnam memorials that are there that we actually built after we tore it up over there and went to war. So there are things, but this particular day is a special day in history, also known as Freedom Day, also known as Jubilee Day. So, we're going to talk a lot. I have a very esteemed, smart person, Mr. Mark Lee, that's going to be leading us in this discussion, because I call him the mayor, the professor, the engineer. He's everything. And he's really important to the Hayti Cultural Center down in Durham. And Mark has his hand on the pulse of the black community here. And we don't ever want anyone to think that we're not, including everybody. We're very inclusive. But sometimes as black people, we don't talk about what we do enough. What's up, Miss April? Shout out, because I heard you turned it up down there. I heard that you ran the thing. And, what's up, Dr. B? But I heard April, you're an event coordinator to the max. So I got to get you to come do some stuff with me, but we'll chat. But yeah, man, that's dope, man. And, matter of fact, I'm going to send you the link. You want to pop on with us a little while so you can tell us what you did and how that went? I'd love to hear about that, because that's part of Juneteenth, and you actually pulled that off. So that would be awesome. But yeah, so, we're going to get the show started. We're going to bring in Mr. George DeFalcovici, our very special guest. And, I'll send it to you in the messenger, and then we're going to bring in Mr. Mark Lee. So please join us. Clap your hands, everybody, for these two proud Afro-American brothers.
What's funky, y'all?
Real. What's up, Mr. Lee?
What's
How you
happening?
doing? George?
Oh, I'm
Guys
hanging
all right?
in there. Yeah, I'm hanging
Hanging
in there, man. Just smiling and profiling.
I like that.
Hey, that's a great thing to do. Smile and profile. You asked about what was going on, and actually, they've given me a somewhat of a duty at Hayti, because not only am I a site coordinator and one of their event planners, but I'm now considered one of their historians. So I've actually done a couple of things around Juneteenth, even over the last couple of weeks and everything. As a matter of fact, I had a webinar that involved some of our government officials and all along those lines. So I actually did that on yesterday. There was a young lady, Devon Young, that actually portrayed what was going on when those folks were freed in Texas and how they reacted. And she actually dressed up in the costume pieces.
Hold on 1 quick second, Mark. Hold on. April, I sent it to your messenger, so check that. But can you tell us, before we get into today, I want to go, because we got plenty of time, I want to go back to the beginning. Let's start there. Let's go back to when it was actually going down and what actually happened there. Was it a slave auction? Was it a day that we came through and said, okay, that particular area, we're now set free? Tell us, because see, I'm one, and it's my own fault. I don't really know. So educate me. Start me from the beginning.
That's what I was going to do, even with what we did with the governor and all along the governor's office and all along those lines here in North Carolina. But what happened is that, as many people know, the Emancipation Proclamation was the end of the Civil War. So it was actually declared on January 1st, 1863. But unfortunately, or fortunately, depending on how you want to put out your perception and everything, it took a while for it to get to all of the parts of the freed community. So it was actually on June 19th, 2.5 years later, that the word got to the slaves in Texas, to be exact, Galveston, Texas, and all along those lines. So even though the president had made a declaration 2.5 years earlier saying that all folks were freed that were of African-American descendants and all in that space that would have been part of the slave economy and all along those lines, it took it 2.5 years for it actually to get to that area. And it actually, the final word was arrived on June 19th, 1865, which is why the holiday is called Juneteenth and why it is celebrated on June 19th. So it's literally the day that the folks there in Galveston, Texas, got the word that they were free. So they've actually been free for a few years. Only their slave owners and other people had not let them know that. So there are some theories that some of the folks might have been intentionally derailed because they were getting by horseback and a number of other things. So they might have not wanted us to get the word that we were freed and everything, because that freedom had actually been declared 2.5 years earlier.
So that particular area, they didn't know? They weren't telling people?
They did not know that they were free. They did not know until the federal troops arrived in Galveston, Texas, to take control of the state and ensure that all the enslaved people were free. So they were actually under federal order to actually be free. But we're talking the 18th century. So that then, of course, there were resistance forces going on. So the federal troops actually had to come there to Galveston to let folks know that they were free. So they were sitting there thinking that they were still enslaved for a number of years.
So June 19th, 1865, the day enslaved African Americans in Galveston, Texas learned that they were free. Yes. While President Lincoln had issued the Emancipation. So that's basically what you're mentioning that went down. Yeah. George, what are your thoughts on that, since you actually lived in Texas?
Well, it's obvious that they didn't want us to know that we were free because they needed people to work their fields.
Exactly.
See, they were getting all this free labor and 2 years straight. Now, if anybody needed to do some reparations, you know, because they were free and doing free work, you know, and didn't know it. They didn't want to tell them. You see? Yeah, they didn't want to give up the money that they even spent on slaves and the money they were making off slaves.
Right.
See? I think that's messed up.
I got to think that was the 13th Amendment, right? That makes sense?
Yeah.
That was the 13th Amendment. Wow. It's a shame that our government still is doing the same BS today, and we'll get into that because we're still slaves. But how it's crazy that you got to put something in writing that says another human being can just be that. You know, that hurts me to my core, because as a black man with my DNA coming from my ancestors, thank you, ancestors. I always got my girl LL telling me that. It bothers me that you have to have that in your system and see it today still the racism and the placism and the systemic racism and things that are said going on that people don't even realize how they hurt people like that. You know, hold on 1 second. Go ahead, Mark. Take this for a second, man.
No, I was just going to say, but you got some people out there, and I know that George would probably agree with me as well. But you've got people in the 21st century, this particular year that we are here, that will not necessarily even think that what Zach just mentioned, with his systemic racism, exists. I've got a number of friends of mine, including some that are European American, that will tell me that if you bring up redlining or if you bring up some of the things that are going on now, that you are talking from the past. And while I understand it's important for us to understand our history, otherwise you are destined to repeat that history if you don't understand where you came from. And all along those lines, what happens is that too often they feel that we have won the gains and have not dealt with the success that we've had and everything. But sometimes that's not always the case. One of the things that was going on here at our Juneteenth celebration here at the center yesterday was the gentleman actually played a song, and I'm sure you're familiar with this song. I mean, not a song, but the song is something that Shambo created, but it's based on the Martin Luther King speech toward the end of his life and everything. So, George, I'm sure you remember that one of the things that Dr. King said was that he feared that he was leading his people into a burning house, and all along those lines. So I just wanted your take on that, because that's even what a lot of people that were probably freed were thinking. Because what people forget is that a lot of the freed slaves, after they were freed, they created a lot of the Black Wall Streets. So they created the one here in Durham, they created the one in Tulsa, they created a number of them around the country. But then the powers that be were frustrated, so they either found a highway to destroy it, or they found, in the case of Tulsa, a fire to destroy it, and a number of other ways. So there are different ways that they have destroyed it, whether it was subtly or whether it was done more overtly and everything.
Mark, I gotta tell you something. Something's wrong with the links, because I sent it to April, I sent it to Linda, but they can't get on. Now, I sent them this link, so I don't know. You guys hold tight. We'll get you in, but I don't know what's going on with it, because it was the same link. So Linda said she was backstage.
Yeah, she's not backstage on this
her?
one. I did not see her at all. No, she's not backstage. Right. And you sent her this specific. Right.
It took me the second time to click.
Linda's here now. Linda's here now.
There we go. Wow.
Hi, Linda.
Hey, Linda.
On your show.
Good. And if you're watching, I just sent the link in the actual chat.
Oh, that might have helped with the issue. Okay.
No. That was April. I was saying for you, I don't know, because George said he had to reboot and do it twice. How are you? Welcome.
Good to be here as always.
Yeah, good. We
So
were
what did I
just.
miss?
Oh, go ahead.
What I missed?
I was just telling
before I popped in.
You didn't miss
We were
much,
talking
because
about-
we were just getting started. Mark was telling us about Juneteenth, and then we were going to.
Oh yeah, I wanted to just kind of give you a lot of information I found on that.
Awesome.
You know, it started because, of all places, Texas waited 3 years after the Emancipation Proclamation was signed to let their slaves go. A Union general had to go down to Texas and actually with troops to make them let those people off slavery. It took them 3 years to acknowledge that had happened, and they were keeping those people in bondage for all those years.
Yeah, Mark was just telling us that about, I wanted your opinion, because George was speaking about that as well. And we wait for April. I think she's back there now, Mark, right?
April's here.
Yeah, she's there. Hi, April.
Hey.
I know you did something dope. Yeah, I don't know why the link didn't work the first time. It's the same link. So sometimes, I don't know. But welcome. But I wanted to ask you, Linda, when you think of Juneteenth and Afro-American heroes and music and sports people, because we're going to talk about Willie Mays later too, what comes to your mind emotionally?
Well, the first thing was just Texas holding on to their slaves like that. That was a horrible thing, a nasty thing for them to do, but kind of like in sync with the whole issue of slavery from the get-go. They had those people under their thumb, made them stay there on the plantations 3 extra years while everybody else was finally getting freedom and moving on with their lives, because they had that that option to do that. That kind of messed me up. And I've been watching this thing about the LA Clippers, the guy that owned the Clippers, how racist he was and how he treated his crew, his players like slaves once again, until they finally had to kick him out of the league because he was so arbitrary and intensely racist, and other things were going on with him. It's just like, we go 2 steps forward always, but somebody's always trying to push us back to square one again.
I feel that pressure too.
It never stops.
Yeah, that's right. April, George was telling us all the wonderful things that you did, and I'm gonna let you get into that. I don't know how much time you have, but thank you for joining us. How you been?
Oh, good. I've been busy for the last month, though.
I know. I've been trying to keep track. I watch on Facebook when I feel good enough to watch. So congratulations. Good job out there. Well done. Tell us a little bit about just one of the things that you did yesterday concerning Juneteenth down in Texas.
Oh, we popped it down here. I'm with the Juneteenth Freedom Coalition, and this year they put me full charge of the Juneteenth celebration. So I worked it out. We had entertainers from 10 to 8 that night. So, we had some awesome vendors and some awesome musicians. I put up in between running around all day, getting everybody organized, the vendors, the food vendors, the musicians. I had an assistant with me, one of my band sisters, June. So she was my stage manager. She had the paperwork. She was getting everybody lined it up, and we wrote it all day. And if I tell you it was awesome, it was awesome. We had some awesome spoken word, just everything. And I mean, it went really smooth. So I did a video and put it up. So I'll send you the link, in case somebody want to, check it out and watch it. But it was off the chain.
Yes. Now, there's a few things I wanted to mention in the beginning. We had some transitions. Willie Mays, of course, Bill Walton, the basketball player, Donald Sutherland, the actor yesterday. It's Pride Month, so for everybody out there, I always recognize Pride Month. So I don't want you guys to think that I never forget, because I never forget. For those of you watching out there, we understand these things are very important to Funk from the Front Seat, as they are to you. So we support it all, especially the funk. But George, I want to get back to you. Mark, I want you to tell us your thought about why did it take, and I'm going to let everybody answer this or speak on it. Why do you think it took so long for the federal government, our government that enslaved us, to finally do this?
Well, you know what? It's kind of weird to me. Once again, a lot of these states are not celebrating Juneteenth. In my own household, neither person that works in a regular job was allowed the option to stay home for that day.
Right.
So I'm assuming if it's happening here, it must have been, it was kind of like a very low key for it to be a federal holiday and not to be recognized like all the others that they have finally let slide through, like MLK Day and 4th of July. It didn't get that kind of love. And so I don't really feel like it's been really acknowledged properly.
That's what Mark and I was talking about. Mark, go ahead.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's been interesting because one of the things that people have been frustrated by, at least here in North Carolina, is that because it is a federal holiday and because some people are now just understanding the importance of it, it has gotten to be a lot of spread out celebrations. Because I was actually talking to a young brother, and he was going and trying to figure out how he was going to go to the various ones, because there are tons of them here in North Carolina. There was one in Cary, there was one in Wake Forest. I think there were several in Wake Forest. There have been like 6 or 7 just here in Durham alone. So a lot of people are glad to have those celebrations, kind of like what April was saying, and all on those lines. I do think that some people, and this is just my opinion, I don't know what our fellow panelists have to think about this, are taking it as an opportunity to do a little bit of pandering to the crowd and everything. Because one thing that shocked the heck out of me is when I went to the one that was held on North Carolina Central University's campus, is that we have this very conservative brother that is running for governor, that is our lieutenant governor. He has some very inflammatory things to say about the LGBT community and about women. As a matter of fact, he said that women, the reason that there is a rise in the children that don't have both parents is because you ladies don't know how to hold your skirts down, which I think is very inflammatory. And all of those but he had that kind of quote and everything, but he had the nerve to actually show up with a knife. Actually, he didn't have the nerve. He sent his white delegates down there to show up at a Juneteenth celebration. And I'm going like, you are one of those brothers that might be a little bit closer to an Uncle Tom than anything else, but you're going to be at a Juneteenth celebration. So there was some pandering going on in my mind in that situation. So I don't know if April dealt with any of those Republican types, because I know they got some in Texas that tried to come on to the Juneteenth celebration.
Well, here's my thing. George, let me ask you this, because I've been saying this, and I agree with everything you guys are saying. Thank you for joining the show. It's a special show today. But I like for Christmas, maybe, or Thanksgiving and New Year's, okay, those holidays fall on the day. But why is, and this is, again, unconsciously beating us down, because putting it on a Wednesday in the middle of the week, because, yeah, that's the actual day. But to me, it should be on a Monday, even though we recognize the 19th, because this way you can do Friday, Saturday, Sunday. The holiday federally is on a Monday. And I think across the country, it should be that way, because I felt really taken aback, because I didn't even know what was going on. And it was Wednesday. And I was like, this is very
Actually,
odd.
it was Thursday. I think the 19th was Thursday.
It was Thursday?
Yeah, it was Thursday.
Wednesday.
Yeah, whatever day it was odd to me.
It was Wednesday. It was Wednesday.
Well, we celebrate here no matter what day it fall on.
Yeah,
Well,
no, that's what I mean. But that's a good part.
Holiday. That
Yeah, it was on a Wednesday. It was on a Wednesday.
It's almost like when they had our Black History Month as February, the shortest month in the year. Another slap in the face,
Yeah, and see, that's subliminal. Yep, that's purposely done. And I'm not saying everybody that's of non-color is evil. I love everybody, but the powers that be, George, be doing that. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, it's a way to keep their thumb on us. They don't take the thumb off; they just move it to the side a little bit. You see, that's what it is. We deserve a full 31 day, month. We deserve
you would think.
To have a 4-day weekend come Juneteenth. Because even when I was in the military, they didn't even recognize Juneteenth
Thank
at
you
all.
for serving.
Well, it just became a holiday in 2021. It was a holiday in Houston from Texas in 1980 as a state holiday, but it became a federal when Biden put it in 2021. But it's not getting the recognition that I think it deserves.
Yes, right. Because some people still have to work.
Yeah.
And they should be off to celebrate.
So a federal holiday is supposed to be a day off, and that was not happening. I know it wasn't happening here in Kansas City.
I think if we didn't celebrate it here in Texas, if we got the holiday, but if we didn't do nothing, it'd be under the rug.
Oh, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah, we have to acknowledge it every year.
Yes, and not just in Texas. It should be a national situation where it's recognized across the board.
Right.
It's a shame that it's not. That was an important day. We were actually finally free of slavery.
Exactly.
It doesn't seem to be a big deal to most people.
Yeah, you too. You're right about that.
That bothers me too, because I don't understand why, and this, again, I'm not, racist at all. I love everybody,
Right.
I don't understand why, we have to owe the Holocaust. Okay, bang, owe the Vietnam Memorial after we went there and had a war with them, destroyed it, but then we go back and fix it. And then we talk so much about the Holocaust and we're going to do this and that. And I get that. I ain't mad at that. But, what they did, and I was going to bring this up at the second half of the show, but I got to bring it up now. We ain't going to even take a break. What they did in Oklahoma recently to those people sitting on that panel right there, those 4 people that were 100 years old, after their whole
neighborhood was annihilated. Yes.
and then they denied them.
For years.
And they just did it again. They just did it like 2 weeks ago. That was the final thing. Right, Mark?
Yeah, and they still deny a lot of things going on in that space and everything. But as I've told you, Zach, and I think I brought it up to Linda and others on some past shows, while I love the institutions that I am part of, meaning the Hayti Heritage Center and everything, I also, because like I said, I've become one of their main historians, there are subliminal messages that they put out as well, and even the ways that they celebrate Juneteenth can be subliminal messages. Because if you were to come here and see the sanctuary, or what was our historical sanctuary, which is now the performance hall, the most prominent stained glass is the one of Washington Duke, and all along those lines. So just imagine that if you had just recently been freed, and because he gave some money and had that moment of vanity and was doing a subliminal message, that while you're doing your service, his picture is even higher than that of Jesus Christ, and Jesus Christ is actually portrayed as a white person as well. So you've got all these subliminal messages that are going out at that same time. So just imagine if you are a person that had just recently been freed and you're in the middle of your congregation and you have to look up at that picture all day long and everything. And this is only one of several churches that did that, because they gave the money, whether it's the picture of a white Jesus or whether it's a patron saint of some sort, because that's what Washington Duke wound up being, as a patron saint to the community and everything. But you have to do that, and then that creates a subliminal message. But I don't know your thoughts around that, Linda.
Well, churches with white Jesus, that's already a strange situation, because we knew where he grew up.
Right.
The sun shines constantly there, and even if he was a white man, he would not be a white man. He would have some color to his body. So that's been perpetrated with all churches for centuries, that we worship a white Jesus. I think that's a turnoff to anybody with his rational mind.
Yeah.
All right, Craig, we go to heaven, and you look up and you be like, "Oh, I knew it. See, I knew it."
Well, it does say hair of wool, feet of bronze.
Yes,
That's what my father used to say.
Yeah.
He used to say hair, So, and again, and I have to say this with all due respect to everybody, man. Like, my kids are biracial. I make no bones. I ain't ashamed of that. Nothing like that. I've dated always outside my race. I dated in and out. It doesn't matter. What bothers me is the powers that be constantly push this narrative that we're supposed to hate each other as white and black people, and then they hate us, and we're like, but we can't even get a day. So why are you hating on me? I can't get reparations. I can't get anything. And you still think I am your problem because you ain't got no money. But yet you robbed me my whole life.
Right.
And all of our ancestors in between.
That's what I mean. When I say me, I mean them. It's them, not, because again, here we are, okay, talking about this in 2024. And that was what, 1865. You know what I mean? It's like a century
2021 to even get a serious recognition. We're talking over 200 years. Once again, for us to even get a knock on the door.
You know what another subliminal message is? When you fill out your application and they got that slot on there where you got to pick your ethnicity. That's another subliminal message right there.
And you don't know what you don't know what your selection is what it's going to entail on the backside. What's that going to mean? Am I going to get benefits? Am I going to get less benefits? Is it going to be a problem or not? You don't know what that's going to come. What's going to come up with that?
That's right. That's right. Oh wait, we lost Linda. What happened? Oh, okay.
She's totally going to
don't go. Stay. What are you doing, Mark? Stop.
I didn't touch a button. I did not touch a button.
I believe you. Neither did I.
Come on your show.
See, they know we talk extreme. You're trying to Sir Knows.
Trying to mess up with things.
Trying to get us or Pierre.
But I did have a quick question. I did have a quick question for Linda.
Wait, let April get in. April, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No, I'm good.
Okay, Mark.
And this is actually for both of you, because one of the things that fascinated me, because I've had the pleasure of doing a couple of Juneteenth events this last week and everything, and one of them was actually at NIEHS, which is a health organization associated with health research and everything. And the young lady that came down that was the keynote speaker, because this cultural center was one of the community partners, because they had community partners there, including Stagsville, which is a former slave plantation. But she was talking about the bias that exists in gene research. So she was finding out that the most affluent African-American woman actually is at a greater disadvantage than the poorest of the European Americans, and all in that space, based on some of the gene research that she's been doing and all along those lines, just because of the way that things are being done in terms of health disparity. So I was wondering if you had any thoughts around that, because I know you're in some of that space as well, Glenda, and everything, because there's a serious health disparity that you can be very affluent and still face some serious health disparities.
Yes, especially as a woman, because first of all, we have to deal with the possibility of birth control issues, medical issues, as far as like how we're treated when we get to the hospital to have a child. Are they going to like, I can relate myself because I had a miscarriage at 5 months and I was out in Los Angeles. We were on tour and I just happened to be having problems. I go to one hospital, they wouldn't even admit me. And by then I'm actually losing the hospital because they wouldn't let me in. And we had no other reason to think they wouldn't because of my skin color. I almost died from that.
That's so sad. I want to give a shout out to George, Dr. Bruckenstein, encourage everybody that's watching. See, and here's why I wanted to have this show today, because I want this show to fuse June 19th and try to get some wisdom and drop it, since we are the elders, to our young people. Because I know our young people celebrate in their way, because they can only do that. They're only 20 years old, right?
Younger.
But I don't want them to forget, and we always have to let our young people know, of all races, creeds, and colors, especially people that feel less than, minorities. You know, if you're a minority, you always feel less than. We had so many Black inventions, you know, creators, Garrett Augustus Morgan, Sarah Boone, Alexander Miles, Dr. Charles Drew, James E. West. You know, all of these people created things to make America great.
Great.
MAGA. This was MAGA before MAGA. I don't care what that guy says. You know, the slaves of Chinese, Asian, and African people in this country was MAGA. Because if it wasn't for them, this country wouldn't be nothing. And they robbed it off from the Native Americans.
First,
So
that
now,
was the first
young people,
issue.
if you are watching, you need to go back and do your research and understand people that made some major inventions in this country. The cell phone, the chips in that, the nuclear scientists, the stuff that went to NASA, ironing boards, washing machines, everything to make a slave's life easier was invented. That was MAGA. All right, I'm off my soapbox.
I'm going to join your soapbox and everything, because not only that, because one of the things that I had forgotten until I saw it on an Instagram post was, how often have you gone? I know that I've gone to it even in my own apartment and reached for your door and everything. But Osborne Dorsey was actually the inventor, who was a brother, and he was actually a young brother. He was very young when he created, but he created the first doorknob in 1878. So he created that doorknob, and like I said, I think he was a teenager at that time. So anytime that you go and open a door, you were actually needing to thank a brother in that sense as well.
Wow.
And every time you stop at a stoplight, guess what? And every time you make a peanut butter sandwich, guess what?
Right.
You know?
Potato chips, potato chip.
Yeah.
And not to mention all the other great scientists of all races, creeds, and colors working together. But we should not be excluded. If there's a Mount Rushmore, a Black person should be on it, along with a Native American. That's my opinion. If you got 4 white guys up there, it should be, okay, we'll give you 2 white guys, but then a Native American and a Black person got to be up there. That's why I don't recognize that. I don't recognize that.
Acknowledge those ladies at NASA too. You know, hidden figure. Come on, man.
Right.
That's right. And here's the thing, because me and Kevin was talking about this. Shout out, Kevin, because I know you watch. The part of Kevin Costner was made up. That never existed.
Are you talking about Dancing with Wolves? Dancing
they
with
made that
Wolves?
up.
You talking
go
about
ahead,
the
Linda.
Dancing with Wolves movie where he was hanging out with the Indians?
Yes.
Uh-huh.
Well,
I'm surprised. Yeah,
well,
I'm
that,
sure it was made up.
Yeah, the
but that
part
wasn't
where yeah, I'm talking about NASA, where he played the guy at NASA and he went and pulled down the sign for the color bathroom. They said that guy never existed. Hollywood put that in so they can have
Wow.
a white face be still part of something that those ladies did. And that's
Oh, you
wrong.
Wow.
See,
oh,
now
okay.
we know.
But Zach, in that
Wow.
same line and everything, there is a very rich character that a lot of people love and everything if they follow westerns. And I know that you follow westerns. I think George does as well. But the Lone Ranger was really Bass Reeves. So the Lone Ranger was not really the image that we see of the Lone Ranger. It was actually a brother that was the Lone Ranger. Then that was the character of Bass Reeves.
Okay. They have a show about him on, I think, on Paramount.
Yes,
They do.
yes,
Yeah, they
I
do.
saw it. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he
And
was the
he-
original
he's so-
Lone
so-
Ranger.
Pictured he was, of course, an issue of racism constantly while he was doing his job as a lawman, constantly
Yeah.
running it to people that were trying to hang him or, accuse him of things and trying to get him out of the way. Yeah, we've never had
But
an easy time on as long as we've been on this continent. It's been a difficult struggle for Black people on every level.
We still don't have an easy time because
Of
one of the
course
things that
not.
scared me yeah, because one of the things that scared me is that there was two artists that are one of the artists has still got his art up and everything, but the other one is down there from near the Macon, Georgia area and everything. And he literally had to go back home today because he did a mural, and it was a mural that was historically oriented. And as he even told me yesterday, it was some Southern redneck types that have already defaced his mural. So he's gonna have to go back to try to repair the mural because it's been defaced. So we've got some of those redneck types that are still trying to destroy the things that we have created, even when we are creating new things.
Oh yeah.
You know, it's funny
And
because
if a Republican person gets in the White House, that's just the beginning of how intense it could actually get, in my opinion.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's a lot getting ready to pop off. That's why
Yes,
we got to
yeah.
get our young people's mind right.
They have got to start thinking rationally. Unfortunately, their schools they've been deprived of education about some of the things we're talking about in the schools. It's been taken out of the curriculum.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So
You would think they
the way they
still
can find out anything relevant is to look it up themselves. And we have to hope that they have the energy to do that.
Go ahead, April.
No, I was disagreeing because even some of our posts when we were posting for the Juneteenth events, I had to check it daily because they would come on and make comments like "F you" and your Black Lives
Really?
Matter, and I
Wow.
don't know why this nonsense is popping up, and
Wow.
I'll click on it and take a screenshot to save it, but I mean, several posts that you see, with Black events, you'll see comments on it from, different races and things like that.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's uncalled for because I don't know, for one, what makes them so much better than everybody else, because, like they have these demonstrations where they have a brown egg and a white egg and they crack them open, they the same.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know where they get that in their mind that they better or they made different or whatever, because they're not.
They're
So
taught
I
that
see
from
all
they're taught
kind of
that from childhood, April. They learn that
Huh?
from childhood. In certain families, they're taught that from childhood.
Oh,
And
yeah.
that's
Yeah,
the-
definitely. It don't make sense. I read the comments, I didn't even reply. I just took it down, took a screenshot, just in case, but also made sure we had security inside and outside. But, we also had a lot of military there, the Buffalo Soldiers and different organizations. So I'm not going to go no further than that. But, we always keep our eyes open, for events like that, because it's so much hate on what you're trying to do to bring you down, color.
Yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because George, you were in the military. I want you to give people a brief synopsis of the Buffalo Soldiers.
Yeah, man. They it's there. Racism is big time in the military. The Buffalo Soldiers, I mean, they doing a good thing by letting us know that the history of the brothers being back in the wars, you know, because that'll get swept under the rug too if nobody says
Right.
anything. You see, so when I was in the military, yeah, man, it is deep with the racism, okay, and I mean to this day, you know, and that's why, you know, it's rough on us being in the military. You see,
Yeah.
that's why I didn't force none of my boys to go to the military. I didn't force them. I ain't said nothing to them. You know, racism is you're not born with it.
No, it's
Right,
tough.
you're not. You're
It's
not.
taught. You see,
Mhm.
Do you guys think that, you know, as we get this information out to young people, and we want all of them to come together? I know my daughter's 20, my other one's 16. They have a different mindset about racism than say our generation, because they're working together more, but they don't have any power. See, that's the difference. Everybody says, "Oh, well, look around. Everything is great, this and that." I was like, yeah, but who has the power? That's the problem. We're not in positions of power. Yes, we'll have one minority here, or the lady Cortez, they're trying to run her out of New York, which I back her all the time. They mess with her constantly. You know, there's a few people. But then we have shills. And I ain't going to mention the names, but y'all know who they are. They getting paid $30 million here, $500 million there to shoot a basketball, to hit a baseball, this and that. And you don't never see them coming out and saying, listen, it's about power and equality. What am I going to do with $300 million? You know, yeah, they're giving this to me to keep my mouth shut. If you got a platform that big, you should be on every mountaintop shouting like, yo.
Well, you know what issue that they have with those people that are in the sports world making that kind of money? Most of their contracts do not allow them to do anything like that. They even have to be careful about what kind of clothes they wear when they show up at the stadiums. You know, they can't come in comfortable with suit and ties.
Yeah.
They can't. They're not allowed to be political, or they lose their money. And that's really
that makes sense. Yeah.
Most of their contracts have that stipulation about their PR aspects, what they can and can't do.
Yeah.
you know what I noticed over the years? We do not teach, our race do not teach our kids racism. We teach our kids to keep our eyes open and watch out for it so we don't get caught up in it.
Yeah.
See, that's a major
It's almost
difference.
imperative to do that.
Yeah.
Especially young males, black males.
We have a mental green book in our head.
I tried to explain this once to someone, and they just can't get it. And it ain't nobody's fault. It's just what it is. Because when you wake up in the morning and you open your eyes as a minority in this country, I don't care if you're Asian, any whatever, Spanish, Puerto Rican, Mexican, whatever, you automatically know, okay, I got to go against the grain today. Now, it's not a mindset. I don't want to have that mindset. I'd like to wake up and see purple.
Uh-oh.
Everybody's purple, you know. So I don't want to do it. But when I go outside and I'm riding down the street, or I'm trying to drive Uber, and a cop looks at me funny in broad daylight, like, well, I could mess with you if I wanted to. See, that's stress. That's stress. When you go to a supermarket, and then you know, sometimes I'm old, I forget. So I'm walking around for a few minutes. I can't figure out where I want to go, especially with chemo brain fog. And then I got people, oh, sir, can I help you? No, you can't help me. If I want help, I'll ask you. You know, now they're being nice to me, but they also subliminally are messing with me, saying, oh, we got to make sure you don't steal nothing.
Yeah, why are you taking so long to get up out of here?
Yes, yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
look at that Angel Reese, Caitlin Clark thing. Look at that. That's a classic cut case of racism.
All over the place.
All over the place.
Yeah, that's definitely all about.
Bad. It's bad. Mark, your thoughts?
No, but I was gonna ask because actually there was a group of there was a lady and she came in with her son. The son was probably in his 30s or something like that because she just recently retired and all in that space because he's actually a culinary person. But she actually brought a point up that I would love to hear Linda and even April and George and your thoughts. But she was afraid that our generation missed the boat, meaning those that are now in their 60s and 70s, in the sense that we didn't actually do enough to let our folks know about their history and their part and role in history, and that we didn't actually give them the opportunities to develop the businesses that were created with those Black Wall Streets that I alluded to earlier and everything. Now, there are some people that are trying to bring it back, but she was feeling that we might have missed a boat in trying to make that generational connect and everything. But I was wondering if y'all agree with her notion of that we may have not done a stronger job of educating as we possibly could have done.
Hold that thought. I wrote it down, Mr. Boat. I want to run a few spots, and then we're going to come back on the other side. Funk from the Front Seat, 9 on the Grind TV. Every Saturday, there's a very special show. I appreciate everybody tuning in. These things have to be spoken about, and you guys feel free to share this to your heart's content. Y'all sit back and check this out.
This is Joe Keys of Joe Keys and the Late Bloomer Band. Just did a show with my man Zach. Number 9. That's right. Number 9's got it going on. Check out Funk from the Front Seat. Zach Robinson. Serious good vibrations, y'all. What we need. Peace.
Hey, it's Chrissy Key Rollins here with Holistic Restoration, inviting you to check out Zach Robinson with Funk in the Front Seat. He drops new episodes every Saturday at noon on the East Coast time, and replays are posted for whenever you miss a live stream. You can find him on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube, and get ready for the funk because he brings it every week along with hot topics, amazing guests, and great conversations. Again, that's Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Go check them out.
What's up, Royal Funk fans? This is Lisa Love, aka Alpha Unk Omega, coming to you from Love's Temple here in Southern California, inviting you to 9 on the Grind, Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson. This is what I want you to do for me. Tune in every Saturday at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. Come join the meeting of minds. I guarantee soul's growth and high vibrations, not to mention the love. Keep it funky, y'all.
Hey, this is Jen Vanderputten, writer of Code and Prose. You are watching Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Roberson. Tune in every Saturday at noon for excellent and important conversation.
Hey fam, what's goody good? What's really good? My name is Jeff Roberson from the gospel group called Jeff Roberson and New Life. And I'm coming to you from the town that we had to name it twice. It's so nice. New York, New York. And I'm bringing you some news about my brother from another mother, Brother Zach, who's bringing you his hot new show called Funk from the Front Seat. Listen, he's bringing you funk from the vault, from the past, from the present, and into the future. He's got that music that makes the hair on the back of your neck rise up. He's bringing you funk all the way down to your toes. This is that funk that makes you really want to groove. Stay tuned. Don't touch that dial as he brings you funk from the front seat. Listen, let's go!
Hey, this is Keith Jackson with P-Funk Radio, inviting you to check out my brother Zach Robinson with Funk from the Front Seat. Saturdays, 12 noon on the East Coast and 9 a.m. on the West Coast. It all happens on 9 on the Grind TV and also on YouTube. Great guest, great conversation each and every Saturday. That's Funk from the Front Seat with Zach Robinson on 9 on the Grind TV and YouTube. Check him out.
All right, y'all heard it there from some peeps, and also shout out P-Funk Radio. JTRP, thank you always for pumping that funk for us. Gabe Gonzalez, of course. Larry Funkster Jones on Saturday. Peppermint Patty and Boosie Collins, Carline Clinton, and Mr. George, Dr. Funkenstein Clinton, of course. HJ Entertainment, Kane and Jams, Tony Cam, Funk All Stars, Nappy at Funk Army, Oak City Music Collective down here. Afterglow 92416, Donna, I love you. Q&A Entertainment, Brooke Clagett, our Funk Angel, doing a lot of great stuff out there. Patricia Dioria, Curtis Wilcox and Jordan Funkavinci, also with all this artwork and graphics that I have. Dr. Brookenstein joining us right now. Thank you for always being by my side. DJ Cocolino, in Italy, thank you for playing our stuff. Robin Circular P, I love that funk group. David Webb of the Funk Chronicles, thank you for putting us in the Funk Hall of Fame. And also my friend in Ireland, Elizabetta, I know you on vacation in Spain now. I saw the post, so have a good time over there. Everybody watching, thank you for tuning in. We're really doing deep dives into why this Juneteenth thing is what it is, the good, the bad, and, you know, everything that goes with it. Now, Mark, first of all, David, welcome. Mark,
Hello,
you
how
had
you doing?
mentioned, did we miss the boat? That was the subject. So go ahead.
Right.
We missed the boat.
Yeah, but that's
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
yeah. No, I was just saying that we missed the boat in terms of passing the information to the generations, and also in terms of being unified. Because one of the things that the young fella said, the young brother was here, that was the son, was that there is a Project 2025. I know that definitely Linda is aware of that, and it's kind of the MAGA playbook and all along those lines. But we have not really come up with our own version of that, because we were actually more unified. We would probably be doing a much better job. So I was just wondering our thoughts as to whether we need to be more unified and have a greater plan, and also teach our young people about the history that we have in a more profound kind of way.
Well, I think, you know, that's dinner table conversation in a black family. You know, that's something that should be discussed, because children are not learning it in schools. They have to be taught some of their history someplace, and but what better place than with their own family? And most of the family has some kind of history they can share to back up whatever point they're trying to make. That's my opinion, at least. It has to start there.
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
I would have to agree to that, because, you know, it has to be dinner time, you know, talk about right there, because look what happened back when they tried to put Roots out. Remember what happened back then when that came out? You don't have a repeat of that. You know?
Yeah, the backlash, because, oh my God, they're actually showing what we did to these people.
Yes.
I know I dropped the ball on teaching my kids a lot of things that happened in the past, because my thing was trying to keep them safe, especially my boys, you know, because of the hate and the everything that goes on, you know, with our kids growing up, especially, you know, our boys, and like Babe said,
trying to
you
get
know,
them home in one piece every night, wherever they're going. The first thing to do is when they walk in the door, take a breath, because you never know if they're going to make it home. That's a stressful issue in every black family with black males involved.
Yo, David, you were going to jump in with something before.
Yeah. I was going to say, basically, I agree with everything what you guys are saying, especially Linda, about, you know, teaching our children ourselves, you know, about our Black history, because the schools aren't teaching anything at all right now. So, and of course, that's because of people like Ron DeSantis in Florida that keep wanting to try to take all the Black curriculum out of the schools, which is ridiculous. I don't understand why he's doing that. But we need to teach our children more about Black history, more about where we come from, you know, more about, you know, the Emancipation Proclamation and the Juneteenth and all this stuff that they need to know about their own history.
Mm-hmm.
See, I was pretty fortunate.
We're not getting it in school anymore. It's been eliminated in most states in this country. Black history, Native American history, anything that's not focusing on the white establishment.
So let's check it out systematically. And I was going to say, I was pretty fortunate. My dad did have the Book of Enoch. He had books about Egypt in our house. So me and my sister learned about our history. But let's check out this is how they systemically broke it down. Because if you think back to our generation, we had wood shop, metal shop, home economics.
Yeah.
You know, you could learn different trades. And when they started taking those trades out, along with the music and arts,
correct,
that was a huge part of our community and culture.
Yes.
Because we've always gravitated, besides sports, towards music and the arts. And you
Exactly.
take that out and you dumb it down, and then you start saying, well, we're going to censor what you say. And I remember on Lawrence Welk, I once asked my father, now this had to be like 1967 something. I said, Daddy, how come there's only one black guy dancing with all those people? And he said, that's the quota. And I said, well, what does the quota mean? What is quota? And he said that means that you're only allowed a certain amount. And I said, even as a kid, I was like, but that's wrong.
Just
I
like
said,
Leslie
"That is 10 years
Uggams on
old."
that show that
It's
she
token
was.
black.
Remember Leslie Uggams? She started off as the only black face on a orchestra
Yeah,
show.
yeah.
What was the name? I can't remember the name of the guy whose show it was, but there she was, all by herself, surrounded by a white band, a white host, and a white audience.
Yeah. See, now if we're
Spike
indoctrinated,
Lee,
and
I
that's
think, was it Spike Jones or Spike Lee? No, Spike Jones, I think, was the name of the show. I think.
okay. I advise everybody to go back and YouTube Soul, because I watched some of those episodes the other day. Stevie Wonder, P-Funk was on there, Al Green, so it's on. It was Channel 13 in New York, but they're on YouTube now, and you could go back and watch these shows. It was pre-Soul Train. But getting back to this, if they were doing this to us the whole time, and we still trying to achieve and overcome that and being great and doing great things, and it's still now it's 2024. Everything to me should be wiped out. The two-party system wiped out. And we have to figure out how to get spirituality back into these kids. I don't care about religion, but their spirit is broken.
Well, they can move to Louisiana and have
the world needs a reset.
Well,
if they move to Louisiana, they have the 10 Commandments on the wall now.
Yep.
Yeah, they took the.
And that was, that's very intense for a Republican to be doing that with the state of the Republican Party. It's like he's kind of backslapping Christianity,
So they took the Bible out of school a long time ago. That was one of the bigger issues right there. So I don't know.
Yeah. When they did that, you already knew where everything else was going, because they have it lined it up where they do pieces at a time. And see, the only reason I keep up with a lot of things that's going on, because I'm also with an organization called Act for SA, where we protest and we meet on different things that's going on in the world, especially in San Antonio, and brutality and things against minorities, So it's very interesting. I learned a lot. And then when I was younger, when I had kids, I used to volunteer for the juvenile justice system. And I learned a lot of things, with the kids that used to get, picked up, just little things here and there. But over the years, I've always, been in all these type of organizations, because it helps me learn what's going on in the world more, than just sitting here listening at the news. So that's why I'm involved in so many things, because our people get the short stick of everything.
Always.
It's funny. I don't even watch the news. I talk to people. That's my news. Like, this is my news. I'm getting my news right now.
Right.
Nothing against the news, because it's a program. It's a TV program. It's like, to me, and this is nothing against it, the bottom scroll is where the real truth is. If you ever watch Fox or CNN or whatever, right? But you know what I watch, April? I watch BBC News, because BBC News, like every other news thing, they're going to do propaganda for their own country, but they tell the truth about America.
Everybody else, yeah.
Yeah, they do. And I found some stuff out. I was like, what? How is this possible? Like, if I didn't even know half the stuff they was talking about, because we don't talk about it over here. And you said, April, you're in organizations, and God bless you, man, because we need more people like you, because this is why I'm so amped up about it now, because I am in a position where I'm dealing with the medical system, okay? And I'm seeing stuff in here that I got to deal with that I don't like, Yeah. It's subtle. But it's there.
It's there.
It's there.
Yeah, I learned when I went overseas.
Whatever your illness is, you don't know if you're going to be like a test rat, a lab specimen. Well, let me see what happens if we give him this, or let me see what happens if we shoot him up with this, or give him this kind of medicine. Let's see what happens, because maybe next time somebody has this, we'll have something better to offer them. But if they feel like they can't assist you, they're going to use it against you.
Yeah. Right. And I don't mind sharing this story with you guys, because it'll be public. right, a little while ago, right, I was trying to get this medication right. So then I got a call from the insurance company, and I can't say no names. And they said, "Oh, Mr. Robertson, your medication has been approved." So I was like, "What medication?" Right? So in the process, they had to give me the substandard stuff first for me to have all these side effects and get sick in order to get the better stuff. So Linda, I empathize.
Wow.
And when I went through that these past 2 weeks, let's just say the fit hit the sham when I went to do. Say that. And I'll leave it at that. Yeah.
Did you try any of the holistic
Yeah, I'm good now, but it's just and I'm on holistic stuff too. But
the generics are always cheaper, Zach. That's why they. But sometimes they have different quantities of whatever's supposed to be in that medication, and you have to have the real deal to get any real effects. But
and it wasn't.
They're throwing out there have so many side effects that they might be worse than whatever they're trying to cure.
Yeah. And it wasn't even, it was, to me, I called the insurance company and I was talking to them about this. And I was trying to understand the logic, because I'm going to be okay. But God forbid I was worse off, right? I wouldn't get the medication in time because they're screwing around for a month with some bullshit.
Wow.
See what I
they
mean?
do.
Yeah. Now I'm by myself doing all of this. I was out, man. Duke. Now, when I go to Duke, they understand this brother is no joke, because the doctor called me 2-3 times now. I was like, yo, this is what I want. And for anybody out there that's sick, if you do not talk up for yourself, they'll jerk you. The squeaky wheel gets the grease. You know, and that's not an advocate.
I would definitely
be an advocate.
What your body can stand. You've dealt with your body all your life. You know what you can stand. You know what you're trying to deal with, and how you're going to fix it.
Yeah, and this is just part of the system that we in now, and I don't like it. I'm here 66 years, God spare me. What can we do to let people know we mean people no harm, just trying to get along?
Nothing, because some of them already have it in their head.
Yeah.
We need to pray for them. Just pray that their hearts be turned around, and it's the only thing that's going to help is just to pray for these people. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah, pray for them to have a heart and have some kind of empathy for somebody else that's maybe struggling a little bit where there might not be. You know, we tend to be so self-absorbed. You know, if our life is comfortable and everything's cool, we don't really have a tendency to reach out and maybe say, oh, maybe I could help Mr. So-and-so because he looks like he's struggling a little bit. Maybe I can.
How some people are, they will never change. So I just move around it and keep on pushing. But you know, it's a shame that some people sleep at night, just evilness and stuff like that. You know, but believe me, a lot of people have tried all different kind of ways, and going back to the George Floyd incident and things like that. We had to damn near burn the world down for them to arrest one person. You know, so things like that just don't make sense. You know, how much hatred is going on, because we shouldn't even have to get to that point where the whole half the world is fighting for this issue, burning up stuff, tearing up stuff, just everything to arrest one person, you know, and you know that's a racial issue. And I say that to say that it could be one person, it could be 1 million people, but you had that one hatred, you know, going on, or however many people in that group, and I don't care what, they don't have a heart to change.
Well, that one person usually represents millions of people in this country.
Exactly.
So he's just taking liberties because he knows it's probably going to be okay with that faction of people in this country. You know, they're going to find a reason to say he was supposed to do that. Oh, it's okay he did that. Of course he's supposed to hold that black man down. He's a white man.
Yeah. You know, there's 170 countries that participate in a National Day of Prayer, but we don't do it here. It's always the first time in March, first week in March, first Monday or something in March. There's like 170 countries that do that, and we don't do it. we don't shut it down. They literally shut down the country for like 15, 20 minutes.
Okay.
You heard of that, right? Y'all heard of that?
No, I've heard of that,
We don't
yeah.
even think about that.
Yeah.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
I know in
Europe,
our life-
Australia.
I think in our lifetime, we'll never see the change, but in the future, because of interracial relationships, that's going to make it change because everybody's going to be of color. Okay? So,
well, you know what I think? The interracial tendency is probably the only way they'll be comfortable enough with black people because they won't be so black.
Right.
They can look at them, a little bit more of themselves, and that make it a little easier to deal with us if we all kind of look the same.
In
the
future, ain't nobody gonna need a suntan.
Yeah, you know, it comes back to,
I do right now.
it's gonna come
Yeah,
back to this.
this how it's all get out. So there's gonna need something going on. But it was in the first day of May, that National Day of Prayer, because apparently President Truman did enact that back in 1952. So it is supposed to be in our activities going on.
Yeah,
now.
but you never hear about it.
They're too busy trying to figure out how to keep women from having abortions and
That's true.
forcing us to be.
Stuff that they don't need to be, exactly.
They have other objectives these days.
I hate to interrupt y'all, but I'm gonna have to make a move. I got, you see this little one right here, right? Well, I gotta comb my hair and stuff. We gotta make a move. She gotta look cute when we leave. So, thanks for having me and everything. And I'll talk to y'all later.
All right, happy Juneteenth.
Okay. All right. Okay.
I mean, one thing
Chris
that
hanging out with us.
That's right. In the hat.
Amazing things down there in Texas.
My baby, my Chanel.
Deep in the heart of Texas.
Say my hair's not combed yet, but I'm down here somewhere, all in my pouch.
Look at Chanel.
All right.
Well, you know, they did erect a monument to the brother who instigated the 1980 Juneteenth for Texas. They built a statue to him in Galveston, I think.
Oh, that's awesome.
To honor him for doing that, you know. So there's been some recognition, but it's not.
Yeah,
really,
it's slow but coming.
A major deal in this country.
Before we get into Willie Mays, I want to ask the panel: do you think if Malcolm X, Medgar Evers, Rosa Parks, and Martin Luther King came back today, 2024, what would they think?
They would
they'd be pissed.
I think Martin would be very discouraged at how far backwards we've gone.
Yeah.
Just off the top of my head, right, first thing.
not just how far back.
Very angry that things have not gotten more involved with us in this country. Mm-hmm. Rosa Parks, I think she would kind of be a little disappointed as well. You know, Medgar Evers down south, there's not been much movement since he was killed. So, you know, I think they'd all would have to be taking a second look and saying, "Oh my God, you know, what happened? We've stalled."
Not only what happened, not only what happened, I think that they would be. I think I've said that before on this show as well as other shows, that they would be highly disappointed because I mean
that's what I'm saying. Yes, I agree. Of course.
Because I kind of alluded to it earlier and everything, but from Chaos to Community, Martin Luther King wrote that book, and he definitely had a lot of the issues that Zach and others have talked about on this show during the time that we've been doing this show, which is everything from homelessness to the things that are going on with our transportation and the violence in the community and a number of other things, and even the wars and the way that we handle wars. These are all issues that Dr. King was speaking about in the 60s and the 50s. This is the year 2024. So we're talking about 60 or 75 years later, and a lot of things that he was talking about, we have not dealt with. I also agree, because it's kind of what I alluded to earlier, because there was a performer that did a piece when they were talking about bringing that he did not realize he was integrating his people into a burning house. And I think the house has been burning even greater in this day and time and everything. So I think Dr. King would definitely be frustrated by the fact that we haven't got further than we should and everything. And I think there are others as well, because one of the things I was going to allude to in that same conversation, because I kind of agree with y'all with what y'all were saying, but there can be some commonalities that can be found as well. So if there are groups that are feeling that they are being oppressed in one form or fashion or another, I do think that while there are some that are too far gone, and I definitely think that y'all are right in that sense, that there are some that we can find some common ground with. Because one of the things that it was a book and I think a movie as well, but The Best of Enemies was about two folks, one that was a part of the Klan, the other that was a labor activist, and both of them were in Durham, and one was a black woman, the other was a white gentleman that was literally part of the Klan establishment, but they found some common goals and some common interests in terms of what they could do to come together and fight and unify, because a lot of times the poorest of the white gentlemen and the riches of the African American community might find that they have some common goals that they can fight for and everything.
Yeah, I think.
And that takes conversation. You know, you have to get to know your enemy, because you never know when he might become an ally. And you might
jump in
to be that, you know.
Jump in, David.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think, as far as like, the leaders with Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, and all of them would probably be pissed off right now. I mean, looking at all the racial divide going on in this country, and it's still going on in this country, and also like listening to the kids are listening to this music right now, this terrible music that I don't even know what you call this music, this rap music they listen to right now.
Programmed that way to mess them up.
It's so full of just racial, just hatred, nothing but hatred and violence.
Keep them in the streets and keep guns in their pockets.
That's why they're so screwed up right now, because it's music. And I know it's all programmed by the man. So yeah.
But Brooke,
George,
it's not just the music.
Let George jump in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree, man. Pissed off to the highest festivity, you know. I'm gonna tell you, if they came back, they'll be like, we ain't not doing this. Let's go
devastated.
Back. You know, they want to go back. They'll be like, we don't. No, we didn't come down here to see all this. You know, and I mean, man, they would have to come down here with some superpowers, because to be able to take, and fix everything, because it wouldn't be fixed in no 1 week, no 1 month. It would take a millennium to get all this stuff fixed.
Go ahead, Mark.
Hey, yeah, I was just going to ask you, this is for everybody, including you, Zach, but one of the things that's been going on a lot is a lot of people are hearing this battle going on, speaking of rap, between Zach and Kendrick Lamar, because apparently some people are upset about the kind of sexist attitude that's been existing in some of our modern music as well. So I didn't know if y'all had a take on that, because I was talking.
Rap music is full of sexist innuendos, and the videos are full of blatant sexism. So, there's really no difference between the two.
Yeah.
Well, I call it this. Like, to me, when you look at the stuff that's feeding the soul, as opposed to what I call rap pornography, because that's what it basically is, right? So with that rap pornography, you know what you're going to get. That's what they pushing. That's the narrative. That's what sells. That's what keeps people at bay. And as long as you keep people at bay, you can steal from them. Now, the good stuff, like Eminem, one of my favorite rappers, he said, I went in with a gospel album and they wouldn't let me put it out. See, now they told him, you got to come back with something jacked. So that's the system, and it's in politics, it's in music, it's in sports, it's across the board. This is why I feel like we have to push even harder now to get our messages across, because they're constantly being suppressed. Mark, number 24, we're going to get into that. We got to do something. And shout out to Donald Sutherland, passed away, and the great Bill Walton. But Willie Mays, American hero to all.
Say hey, Willie Mays.
We're going to have a few thoughts on that, and then we're going to get out of here and let everybody get their Saturday on. I'm going to start with you, Linda. Willie Mays, what does he mean to you?
Well, like I said, as a baseball player, he was one of the greats. Him and Jackie and Satchel Paige and all of those guys that really made baseball the number one sport in America for all those years. They have to have an amen for that.
David.
Yeah, one of the greatest baseball players ever. Like
Yeah.
Lynn was saying, just like Jackie Robinson, you know, one of the innovators. Yeah.
George.
Say hey, Willie Mays, boy, that superhero with a bat. And it's like I used to watch his cartoons on Saturday mornings. You know, he used to have a cartoon. And
I didn't know that. Wow.
Oh yeah, he had a cartoon,
Yeah.
and we used to watch that. And I was all the time got my popcorn ready, and I wish I could have got to meet him. I almost did when he came. There was Jackie Robinson Stadium in Compton, and I couldn't get over there, but he was over there, and I was trying my best to get over there, but my bike was on flat.
Mark.
No, Willie Mays was truly amazing, a great player, and like I said, I never really had a chance to meet him either, but definitely was involved in some great plays, including some amazing catches, and definitely a powerful hitter, and was just a great athlete and one of the true legends of baseball, and no doubt about that. And like I said, you got a affinity for him because of that connection to the Mets, and you know that one of my teams, a team that is actually the only team that I root for in baseball, is actually the Milwaukee Brewers, but they used to be the Milwaukee Braves, and he actually played for them as well. So he did have a opportunity to play there in the team that I root for as well. So definitely he's got a connection to Milwaukee,
Aaron.
which is where my school.
No, that was Hank Aaron.
No, Willie had a connection there as well.
He did?
You sure? Because I was told that Willie had a connection to the Brewers. I was told he had a connection to the Brewers.
So check this
But I'll
out.
double check.
What do you think about Mr. Trump talking about how disgusting Milwaukee is? And they decided to have their convention there. I think if I was the mayor, I would have canceled it.
I
hear you. But I want to. I want to finish this for a second. He was born May 6, 1931, in Westville, Alabama. He died June 18, 2024, in Palo Alto, California. But here are his stats, okay? Now, remind you, he missed 2 years in the Korean War, and he was actually down here at one of the bases just playing baseball. But he, he was an amazing catcher as far as in the outfield, catch anything. When he retired, he was like number 2 in home runs, right, behind Babe Ruth, right? He also started with the Birmingham Black Barons, and this past Thursday they honored him. Well, the game at the first stadium, I think Something Field Stadium, and it was the first real baseball stadium in America, white or black, right? And they honored San Francisco and St. Louis. They both played there. And because Willie Mays died on Monday or Sunday,
I didn't realize he had just died. I thought he had been gone for a while.
Yeah, he died Sunday. So they said something really nice and kind at that event for him. But it was just ironic that they were playing that game for the first time, like a Field of Dreams thing, in the Negro Leagues baseball stadium. So I thought this was an amazing trip, and I was so glad. I didn't want to see him die. He was going to try to be there, but he couldn't. So it was ironic that it just worked out that way. But, to say, hey, kid, we wish you well, and as far as that stuff with Milwaukee, man, they know what they are. They know what they are.
Because
like I said, I was actually shocked.
I personally, if I was that mayor, I would have rescinded their invite, telling them to go down to Louisville or something,
Yeah.
Hang with McConnell and his boys.
Well,
now I want to go and see this as well. Hold on, Mark. Hold on. My Negro League, because I went to the Negro League Museum, okay? And this is the actual hat from the Negro League Museum. Yeah, I've been there.
Where is it?
They brought it. They brought it all around when I lived in New York. I believe it's actually in like St. Louis or Kansas City, maybe. But what they did when it was the anniversary Like they brought the whole thing in trailers to Shea Stadium, and we all went there at the Mets game. And you could walk in there, you could see they brought the whole thing because nobody even knew that the thing existed. So they promoted it. Major League Baseball did it, and they brought it all around the country. And we got a chance to see Satchel Paige's jersey, to see the old baseball mitts. Josh Gibson, the greatest home run hitter ever. His picture was in there with his bat. You know, Willie Mays, Hank Aaron, all the players in the major leagues that were in the Negro Leagues before, we got a chance to see how they started. And I'm telling you, if you ever get a chance, Negro League, go look at some of the films, go check it out. Because, again, that was MAGA.
That was MAGA, right?
Yeah.
That was MAGA, making America great. These guys couldn't even sleep in the same hotel.
Of course
but they
not.
were entertaining thousands and thousands of people. Baseball cards, kids, jerseys, this, that.
Yep.
Thank you, Willie.
All right.
Yo, I'm going to give you all the last word. Mark, let's get out of here. I'm going to give you all the last word on anything you want to talk about. Thank you all for joining. It's been a great show. For those of you watching live, I'll be back in about a month. I'm going to take a month off. I need a break. And we're going to do some really nice reruns. Yeah, I have to rest. It's just I got a lot going on. Yeah, I'll be all right, but you know, I got to pull it back. It's been 4 years plus. So I have so much. Mark and I, with all you guys, we have so much content. So we'll be putting stuff on. It'll still be on. But thank you guys. I wanted to touch on Juneteenth. I wanted to have all you guys on. Willie Mays, this and that and the third. Linda, I'm gonna give you the full screen, and you know, you go ahead.
Well, as always, I'm worried about our political future in this country. Like that Milwaukee thing was just so irreverent. I'm like, well, why would you even decide to have your convention someplace where you find distasteful? Like I said, go down to Louisville. You're McConnell. You guys are friends again. Go have your convention down there where you have somebody that you can relate to. I'm just so sick of how things are going in America that I'm very despondent. So that's kind of where my head's at a lot lately. So I'm done.
It's Dr. Brookenstein right here. I just want to say, for everybody that's in the Northeast, just make sure you keep yourself hydrated. It's very hot up here. It's like 100 degrees, almost 100 degrees, 103-degree heat index. So just keep yourself hydrated. Make sure you drink plenty of water. Make sure you get somewhere where it's nice and cool. Stay safe. I don't want you to pass out, have a heat stroke or heat exhaustion or anything like that. Just make sure you stay safe. And also for all our Black people, just continue to do continue to do the right thing. Continue just to do the right thing. And I'm praying for everybody right now that everyone will have a great summer, and praying for you, Zach, that you will have what you need. You know what I'm talking about. That's all I got to say. God bless.
Hey, George Funkavinci Hudson here, and I would like to say that, man, this racism thing needs to stop, period. I mean, it can come to a cold halt, but, you know, people got to be willing to do that, you know, and, you know, I don't see that happening in the near future, but, you know, hopefully one day it will stop. And then that's when everybody will truly be a free entity out here, you know, and we may never see it in our lifetime, but maybe our great grandkids can see that, you know, and just keep your hearts and your minds on the one, keep God first, make your funk the P. That's what.
Like I told folks earlier, I was actually surprised that Milwaukee was picked to be the site for the Republican convention, but that will be going on. We've also got that debate coming up this week as well, so we'll see how that debate goes on. I'm very interested in seeing how that transpires and what happens. I'm hoping that Biden has a strong showing and all along those lines, but it'll be interesting to see, even though I'm hearing that the Teamsters president might be speaking at the Republican convention. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes as well. But definitely, these are some very trying times, and we need to be prepared to deal with these trying times. And definitely, if you've got some health things going on, definitely do everything you can to get better and to get well. You know, I'm speaking to you, but also some other friends of mine as well. But definitely, we've got to find a way to stay healthy and stay well, and also get this history and know this history so that we don't have the danger of repeating it, and all along those lines. And like I was telling Zach earlier today and everything, I learned that an acquaintance of mine had actually transitioned, and he transitioned and all in that space when his son found him, and all along those lines. So one of the things that I would urge everybody to do is check on your neighbors, because you never know what they might be going through, whether that's around their health or around other things as well. So check on the neighbors that are there. They might need your hand. They might even need your assistance in some of the things that they're going in all along those lines. You might even be able to bring them some food or some goods or just some kind words as well. So I'll leave it on that note. Definitely go out there and check on your friends and your acquaintances.
Y'all heard it here. We're going to bring them back in a minute to all say goodbye. But my last words are going to be simply this: peace, love, and harmony, right? Let's all take this journey into the light. It doesn't matter what race, creed, color, gender, sexual orientation. None of that stuff matters. This is what matters. I love you for just who you are. And you don't have to hate me for me being me. And I don't have to hate you for you being you. So if we all can keep that thought in mind, next time we listen to somebody that is 1,000 miles away in DC, telling you in Wyoming, telling you in Mexico, telling you in Florida to hate, to spew hate, to be hateful, and to do hateful things. And then you don't have to be a gangbang in California or Chicago or New York or North Carolina. You don't have to shoot somebody simply because they have on a pair of Air Jordans and you don't. Black people, you don't have to hate yourself. Look at your history and all the things that we've done since Egypt and Kemet. So don't think that now because your DNA has changed. It has not changed. You carry your ancestors' DNA. You carry Medgar Evers. You carry Rosa Parks. You carry Martin Luther King. You carry the Native Americans. You carry all of those people inside your DNA. They were about peace and love. You didn't see Medgar Evers trying to shoot Martin Luther King. You didn't see Martin Luther King trying to assassinate Malcolm X. So, black people, why are we hating on each other? Crabs in the barrel. Stop doing it. That's my number one pet peeve, and I can't stand it. And I just hope we stop it. And as far as the young people, we love you. We don't need you trying to commit suicide. Please let somebody help you. We don't need you feeling bad about yourself. There is nothing wrong with you. So stop letting society trick you into believing you're less than what you're supposed to be, which is kings and queens. For that, I love y'all. Funk from the front seat. I'll see y'all when I come back. I don't know when that's going to be, but I appreciate it, man, because it's been nothing but love and nothing but fun. So, I'm a shout out to all y'all. Shout out to the Funky Fam. Shout out to everybody. And I think, Mark, I want to close this with maybe Revolution. If you got that queued up, can you cue that up? Do we have Revolution in there?
We said that we didn't have Revolution.
Oh, we don't have Revolution.
We didn't have Revolution last time.
Okay, that's okay. You know what?
United We Stand. How about Funk Not Fight?
No, we got Flag on the Funk.
We do have that.
Let's run with Flag on the Funk. Is that the video? Is that the music?
I'm trying to go down here and see which one it is.
Because I forget.
I know I'm.
Wait. David Brooks, I like your PSA. Oh, yeah, about the water. That was dope. But one thing, men, get your prostate checked. Simple blood test. PSA, prostate, whatever.
And colon cancer. Colon cancer screening, yep.
You want me to pull it up, Mark? I got it.
Please. You got it. Go for it.
Interesting. Okay, hold on 1 second. What a day, man. What a day, man. You guys are amazing.
Oh, yeah.
All right. I'll see y'all when I get back.
Yeah, coming at you. Y'all hear me out there? This is what I'm talking about. We're all connected. I want you to get up on this one, all right? Come on, join us. This is how we gonna kick it. Come on, here we go. Yeah, there's a spiritual purpose. Yeah, you know how it is. The Lord Jesus Christ. Here we go.
There's a spiritual purpose.
He wants us to love each other. That's what this whole thing is about, y'all. Nothing but love for you. I can hear you calling me. What? 4 months on a ship. What a trip. Yeah, man. What a slave. 10,000 miles away from the motherland. You can relate to that, right? What have we done wrong? We don't understand. There's a spiritual purpose. For everyone in the world, there's a spiritual purpose. Man, woman, boy, and girl, purpose. Things we don't understand, purpose. Helps us to heal the land. Yeah.
Girl, we fell in love so innocently. 9 months later, a child was born.
Yeah.
You had big plans for a family. Now the father's gone. Still you stay strong. Spiritual purpose.
Yeah. Yeah.
Everyone in the world, spiritual purpose.
Yeah.
For man, women, boy, and girl, spiritual purpose. Things we don't understand, spiritual purpose. It helps us to heal the land.
Sometimes we have to cry. Yeah. All the children of the world, man, woman, boy, and girl. Things we don't understand. Yeah. Helps us to heal the land.
There's a purpose for everything. Everybody's got a reason for living today. Gotta search deep inside.
Peace. I'll catch y'all next time. Always on the one. Funk from the front seat. We out.